right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS, who rule well, teach well, being great examples to us younger brothers. And peace and blessing, salutations. Hopefully, out there pushing His word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful leg, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And what I want to get into, all right, today, is dealing with, how feminism is anti-life, is anti-family, okay, and that feminist mindset, okay, is very dangerous, all right, to a nation of people. Now, I say is, you had as of late, Captain Tazariak made that statement, dealing with women, being the strongest thing outside of the Most High, okay, and bringing in that feminist Queen of Heaven spirit, all right, that has been the number one, okay, the number one hindrance of us as a nation, okay, because through the feminist mindset, Esau Edom was able to pretty much have his way with the nation. Once he got the woman, to be overconfident in herself and to think that she, all right, doesn't need, all right, the so-called men of the tribes, because mainly it was an attack, all right, on the tribes. Other women of other nations, they took hold of certain feminist, principles, but no one embodied that feminist culture, like the women of the tribes, especially of those of the southern kingdom, so-called black women. And when Esau, all right, deceived the woman into thinking, okay, that she was in prison, by being a homemaker, okay, and that the so-called black man was holding her back, all right, and that she could do it all on her own. When she bit that bait, there was the downfall of the nation. You look at, what the feminist movement was able to do, to the nation, all right, it set up a atmosphere, all right, to where the nation was pretty much raised by feminine energy, like these jakes, okay, these jakes that are over emotional, all right, no drive, no skill set, okay, they just have been pretty much pampered, and grew up, in these different environments, okay. Now we're living with a culture, that's been raised by feminine energy only. There's no balance, okay? And this is why we attack these things in the spirit, not to belittle women, okay? Because it's extremely childish, what we see going on, amongst our people, where you have gender wars, where the woman, okay, is arguing with the man, saying we don't need the man. The woman is arguing with the woman, trying to explain how valuable the man is. But at the end of the day, the Lord established a husband and wife dynamic, all right, for the benefit of each other, all right, the benefit of the family, and ultimately the benefit of the nation, okay? But that feminist doctrine is anti-family, okay, because it's built around the woman. Because see, Esau pushed it as if the woman was being liberated. That's why you have women's liberation, okay? Pretty much, she was liberated from under the man, okay? But just like the emancipation, okay, period, where, Jake was so-called freed from the plantation, but what did they go to? They went to the plants, okay? They went to the industrial, okay, sector, all right, which put them in what? Servitude, okay? Until now, what Jake even called the job, the plantation, you know? But let me pass by him. Yeah, just had to pass by Jake. But yeah, man. So just like, the mind, all right, the mind fuck, you got niggas celebrating Juneteenth, okay, as if they was liberated, you know, during the emancipation. But nah, you just went from private owned, okay, slaves to corporate owned slaves, okay, and the woman, all right, that was, a wife, was created to be her husband's private assistant, his private help, okay. From the beginning in Genesis, it's not good for man to be alone, but that he should have a helpmeet. So the woman was created to be the man's private assistant, his private help, okay? In whatever field or type of business he had, the woman was created to be his aid in that, okay? So what Esau did, all right, he did the same move that he did with the emancipation. He so-called liberated you from, being the servant of your husband to being his corporate servant. Okay? And what that did, that put the woman in a position to where the family is neglected. Okay? Because these women, because see, you had it's mainly two type of women that the feminist era created. All right? And that was a woman, that, all right, would deal with a lot of different men and, be turning tricks and living off the government, okay? Being promiscuous and, all right, like I say, turning tricks and living off the government. And then you had those women, okay, who pretty much elevated in Esau's corporate world, okay? And pretty much they became married to their jobs, okay? And the family, okay, will come second because guess what? She's a servant to their job before anything, okay? That's why, you had it to where, these women, they will spend, because you got to think, you got to add that time up, all right? Let's say the woman, all right, has a job where she worked 8 to 9 hours a day, all right? And then you include the traffic, which is probably another hour, going to and fro. And if you live in a big city, you might have to add 2 or 3 hours, all right, for traffic. So anywhere from, 10 to 13, 14 hours a day, okay, the woman is tied up, okay, in corporate America. She's dedicated to corporate America for the majority of her day, and by the time she gets home, she might have time to cook. She might have time, to wash a load of clothes, maybe not. But everyone is getting the woman's leftovers, because Esau, okay, he gets the bulk of the woman's energy, all right, in the corporate world. Okay? He gets the bulk of her time in the corporate world. Okay? So he so-called liberated you, and the woman in her mind, well, I don't have to answer to a man, so that's a win. But wait a minute, you're still answering to a man. Okay? Who owns these corporations that you work for? Okay? That you have to go to school and study and get these degrees. Guess what? Who owns these corporations? Who owns everything, man? Okay? Esau Edom, a man. So you was liberated from the men of your nation, okay, to be dedicated to, all right, the enemy, okay. And like I say, it's not a video to promote, sisters to quit their jobs or whatever. It is what it is, because like we was born into this, but we always go into the origin of these scenarios, okay, so we can have a understanding of what has been done to us, man. Okay, and go into uh, 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 the wickedness of Esau Edom, because for the longest the feminist culture, feminist mindset was looked at to be harmless. Okay, but when you really go into it, it's anti-family, man. Okay, because it removes a vital part. Okay, it removes a vital part of the family dynamic, and that's the woman being in the state of a homemaker, man. Okay, and when you remove that, now look at what you have. You have the most chaotic, the most violent, okay, the most dysfunctional nation, to ever exist, okay, in the earth. you know, like it was. Hold on, pass my check again. Yeah, so you have, okay, a society, amongst our people. Okay, you have our nation in the most violent, in the most chaotic, in the most disrespectful, okay, state that has ever been. Okay, if a brother can post that, there's 2 Timothy 3:1, probably to verse 4, talks about how things will be in the end, you know, and that feminist mindset plays a major part in the condition that our people are in, and that's why a woman will go straight from her father's house, all right, being a possession of her father, to being a possession of her husband. Okay, and when women hear that word possession, okay, they go crazy. All right, I'm more than that, But then when you go to work, all right, you put on the uniform, okay, with a name on it. You are the possession of Walmart. From whatever your shift is, you are that company's possession. Okay? And if you're not there, you have to deal with consequences. All right? You put on that hospital uniform, guess what? You belong to that hospital. You're the possession of that hospital. That's why they tell you what time to be there, what time to take a break, when you can take a vacation, okay? When to go to lunch, how long you got for lunch. Okay? You're a possession of that corporation. Okay? So when the Bible says that a woman is uh, 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 a man's possession, okay, and women lose it, but then they don't mind being a possession of corporate America. Okay? And yes, it's cute, you got your own money, you can make your own decisions, and you don't have to answer to nobody. But look at the ripple effect and the position that the nation is in. Okay? And that's a very proud mindset to have as a woman, to think that you can raise a family by yourself, man. And that's why, this system of feminist, all right, culture, the matriarch, it yields the results that it yields. Look at the results. Now you can be mad and try to make these points and and buck up, but look at the results that the matriarch is yielding, man. Okay? Because like I said, a woman was supposed to go directly from her father's possession to her husband's possession, man. That way she will always have a head. Okay? But Esau has created a culture where women, all right, they have this period in life, where, okay, they begin to have sex. All right, say in so-called black culture. All right, well, in black culture, okay, the average woman, all right, begins to have sex, maybe at what, 13, 14, 15. All right, depend on, how strict the parents are. All right, you know, certain environments, but they start at that age. So they go, all right, from being, all right, young, okay, what they call young teenagers. All right, they go from that time to their 20s and 30s with no head. And the only thing that they're doing is they're devaluing themselves during that period, you know? But that's the time that, you know, most women, all right, they are most active in that feminist mindset of, just doing them, you know? They free to date, who they want to date. Okay, they jumping in and out of all these different, situations with men, just all these random relationships. Okay, and what happens, man? Their body is being devalued. Okay, now they're gaining children. Okay, those children, because women, they choose lovers, not fathers. You know, women, when they make their decision with men, it's based off the mind. It's based off lust. Okay, the majority of our women, they choose men. They choose lovers. Okay, not fathers. Okay, so now you're bringing children, okay, into dysfunction. All right, and those children are being raised in dysfunction, and now you have a culture of dysfunction. All right, and all that time, that you was operating without a head, yeah, you might bought this car, this type of car. You done went on all these trips. You done got purses. You done, ate at the best restaurants, within that time period. But as a wife and a mother, okay, all right, as a woman, okay, you devalued yourself, man. Okay, and the longer that a woman operates with no head, you know, after she starts, being sexually active, the longer that she operates without a head, the harder it is for that woman to be compatible with a man because she's used, okay, not to answering to no one. Then she's dealing with all the trauma. Then she's used to having, all these different, friends with benefits to where it'll be hard for one man to please her because she's been so overstimulated. All right. by the by the carousel. Okay, so that whole feminist doctrine and mindset is all based in Satanism, because Satanism is all about individualism, you know and you look at how the woman moves. All her decision making is based on what benefits her, the majority of these women. And what did it create? It created a society of violence, chaos, and dysfunction. This is the book of Second Timothy. This is the brother Bayan Yasha 2 Timothy 3:1. It said, "This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come," which is dangerous. It said, "For men shall be lovers of their own self, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, and unholy." Okay, and this is that generation. And the feminist mindset plays a major part in society getting to this point, because it's a society that's raised off feminine energy. Okay, and not on toxic feminine energy. That's they call toxic masculinity. No, this society was raised by toxic, okay, feminine energy, man. Okay, the matriarch. You see, and it's created a society where people only care about themselves, because feminists just taught women to care about themselves, man. Okay, my body, my choice. Okay, but like I say, in the ancient world, a woman, all right, would cherish her virginity for a man that she didn't even know yet. She knew, like, okay, I'm gonna be married, so I'm gonna cherish my virginity until I get married. Like she was already being faithful to her husband that she doesn't even know yet. Okay, before, all right, she would get married. Okay, and a woman would in the ancient world, all right, that's why the father would arrange or pretty much filter men for his daughter. And The man was looking at father qualities, man, leadership qualities. Okay, when he was looking for a husband for his his daughter. You know, if a brother can put that up too, and I think that's Rock, might be 7th chapter. You know, when a man marries his daughter, he has done a weighty thing, but he will marry her to a man of understanding. Okay, and like I say, the woman, you know, she's only thinking about they was only thinking about themselves. You know, about who they had a crush on. Okay, nah, man, the father will understand, like, nah, okay, they're gonna get married, there's gonna be children in the equation. So all that is thought about, okay, before, you know, you would lay down with a man. All these things are thought out. Okay, but feminist mindset just told the women go for what they know. Or because another thing with the feminist movement, what you had, sexual liberation. And when the woman was sexually liberated, okay, she made decisions that only, all right, that she only, you know, thought about herself in the equation. Okay, how the man looked, you know, how, you know, good he was in bed, you know. She made decisions just based off herself. So when you had all these things come about, where you got now children in the equation, these children wasn't a part of the equation. It was just about themselves, man. Okay, so did I say the feminist mindset is satanic because Satanism is rooted in individualism. Okay, and now you have a society where everyone is so proud and full of themselves, man, because it all comes from that feminist energy, man, that raised this culture of children. Okay, all right, no one. See, the ancient world, man. You know, not even in the ancient world, man. You know, even when you go back to the time of our grandmothers and grandfathers, they move according to responsibility and duty. You know, I say as a young boy, you know, and I think about this so much now, you know, that I'm all right. I think about this so much now, you know, in my adulthood, especially last few years, and especially this year, you know, since I've been freed up from, you know, all the responsibility I used to have in my old job, you know, and I can think about things, you know, other than that damn job. Man, I just been thinking. I've been thinking a lot about my childhood, man, and just it was an honor, it was a privilege to be raised, you know, and to live with both sets of my grandparents on my mother and my father's side. And going back to my on my mother's side, well, my father's side, all right. Now my granddad on that side, you know, he was in the city, you know, so uh, he was, you know, one of those Jakes, you know, where he kind of, you know, was out, you know, at the bars and, um, you know, kicking it with the fellas, drinking, you know. But the way that, you know, he moved my grandma and her 6 children, all right, out the projects, you know, he did his thing, but he made sure that grandma was straight, you know, and he bought her one of those. It was a new neighborhood back then, you know. He bought her a house in uh, in the good part of the city. You know, it was good then, but you know, that was his. Like you could tell, that was his goal. You know, he woke up every morning with a goal in mind concerning his family, and you know, he was real strict. He was real austere. You know, he didn't believe in wasting food. You know, he was very austere. You know, but just being around that environment and seeing, you know, how okay he ran the household, because you know it's an honor, it's a privilege that I seen the household ran by a patriarch, all right, which was a man. And then on the flip side, on my mother's side, my grandfather, he was more conservative. You know, he was heavy into the church. Um, um, he was quiet by nature. Okay, but I remember, him always being busy and active around the house, cutting the grass, chopping wood, and and when he got older, my grandma had a stroke, and the way, that he cared for my grandmother, he was always taking her to the doctor's appointments. He was pretty much waiting on her hand and foot. He waited on her hand and foot, and I never seen, he never, no one ever had to, uh, uh, uh it was never when my grandmother was in the position where she needed someone else to help her, because he was there. Every time we came to the hospital, he was there. When we leave, he was there. When she was at the house, he was there. So it was, just seeing the man, take on their duty and their role, you know, put something in me. And Esau put a wedge, between that dynamic, okay, with the feminist movement, man. Okay? Because imagine if, like I say, if my grandma was by herself and she, you see how much difficult her life would have been. But nah, she had a husband, man. Okay? And see, marriage was based on responsibilities and duties. Okay? Good sex wouldn't have paid, wouldn't have been worth a damn thing in that situation. Okay? My granddad having good hair wouldn't have been worth a goddamn thing in that situation, man. Okay? But feminist, okay, mindset taught the woman to just make decisions based on, all right, lust, and how she felt about the decision, man. Okay? So as you read on, it says, uh, this is 2 Timothy 3 and 4, it says traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of the Most High. And this is the society that we live in, where everyone is infatuated pleasure. It's all about pleasure. High-minded. Everyone's proud. Everyone has a an overinflated ego. Okay, everyone has everyone's overvalued. Like how they think, the value that people think they are is overvalued, man. People are at the, here it is, we're existing on the lowest frequency ever under this devil, man. Because Esau, everything's been ran to the ground. Okay? Everything has been ran to the ground under this devil rulership, and people are more proud than ever. People are the most least valuable that they ever been, especially the woman. Because the woman has been replaced, okay, by, all right, the city. you know. So, because everything that the woman used to do, you can go to the city and get it. Okay? The clothes, the food, the restaurants, servants, waitress. Okay, everything has been outsourced. Okay, but the women are more proud than ever. And it's critical to understand the dangers of feminist, all right, that feminist mindset. Okay? Like what Captain Tazariak said, that ain't no light thing, man. Because there's women, who probably listen and they heard that. And what did they do, man? That put them back in their feminist mindset. Okay? But this word is meant to tear, all right, those things down. All right? Yeah, the brother got it for me. All right, this is the brother Yashima tribe of Judah. It's Sirach 7 and 24. It says, "Hast thou daughters, have care of their body, and show not thyself cheerful toward them." Because the father was needed. Okay, and that's another thing. A lot of these women, raised in these single mother households, they don't know what a man is. They don't have no reference, okay, of what a man is. So that has a big impact on their decision making when they get older and start dealing with men. Okay? That has a major impact on their decision making on how they choose men, because they never seen that. Like I said, I was fortunate to see that as a young age, how my grandparents, even though the men, one conservative, more was a look, one of them was more of a, city guy, all right, but they stood on principle and they stood on duty, okay. So my reference point of being a husband today is from what I seen, you know, and seeing my grandmothers how they operated. That's my reference point, of a woman, of a wife, you know. But if you grow up in the household and you never seen that, okay, it can heavily affect, your decision making. Okay, and that's why a father, all right, he would, be that living example of what a man should be, to where a woman seeing that, a young daughter seeing that, when she coming up, she don't want nothing less. Okay, she done seen how a husband, she done seen duties and responsibilities being fulfilled, man. Not just men, you know, coming in and out the bedroom. Okay, a lot of, you single. I stayed with a single mother too, so I done seen from every angle. you know, that not just seeing men come out the bedroom. All right, this nigga show up when you getting ready to go to sleep. This nigga show up at 9:30. You know, it's the 9:30 nigga, man. All right, so having a father, to be that example of what a husband and a man should be is very critical as well. Okay, now uh, let's read on. And it says, Sirach 7:25 said, "Marry thy daughter, and so shalt thou have performed a weighty matter. But give her to a man of understanding." Okay, in feminist culture, when they sexually liberated women, all right, women were just pretty. That's why you had the abortion, because you go into the ERA, Equal Rights Amendments. That's why they tied the abortion, bill to it as well, because they wanted women, to be sexually liberal, pretty much be sexually irresponsible, and then to be able to just delete the child. Okay, like all those things. See, birth control, all those things had to pass through legislation. The surgery to tie your tubes, all that had to pass through legislation, man. To become a legal things to do. And what did that create? It created the woman the ability to be sexually irresponsible, man. Okay, and that's why they didn't have to worry about having a man of understanding, because it was no intent for him to be a father. They just wanted the pleasure. Okay, so yeah, that's the point, man. Just want to do that quick, walk and talk while I was out doing the steps, So yeah, just want to make that point. And that feminist mindset, all right, like I say, is anti-life. Ultimately is anti-Messiah. Because Esau loves to, what Esau loves to pervert, the righteous purpose of everything in the earth. And the biggest thing that he did was when he perverted the purpose of a woman, and they had they was like dropping a nuke, okay, on the tribes, man. When he got the woman out of her purpose, man, so Lord will, you brothers and you sisters edified. And, one thing to say this, that overrides, the damage that has been done to all of us is the spirit of Yahushua. And that's why this Yahushua, he shows his power and how, he's able to, override, all the trauma, that we've had, and make it to where, we can be compatible. We can, submit and get in order, because we was raised in a culture that had us anti-Messiah, man, uncompatible. So Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you few sisters edified. Till next time I say shalom, Kwam Yashala, Abba, DTA soon, shalom.